Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी दशभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you all for our weekly Gita class. So we have completed the first chapter. I think after that we had a quick quiz also on the first chapter. Even though I was not there, I heard that everyone participated. Everyone was very enthusiastic about it. So that's nice to hear. So now we are beginning the second chapter. The second chapter is called, Prabhupada calls it as Contents of the Gita Summarized. So this second chapter in actually has all what Krishna wanted to speak is there in the second chapter. That is why it is called Contents of the Gita Summarized. In fact, if at the start of the third chapter, Arjuna didn't have a question, Krishna had ended his Gita with the second chapter only. The Gita was over with the second chapter. Whatever Krishna had to say, he has spoken in this chapter. That's why it is called Contents of the Gita Summarized. Krishna speaks about Jnana Yoga, Krishna speaks about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Everything is summarized in this. And because Arjuna has further questions, the Gita continues. So this is a very important chapter for us to understand. In Sanskrit, this chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means analytical study. Sankhya means numbers, isn't it? So similarly, how this world is made of, how it is made of the material elements, and what is matter, what is spirit. Understanding this analytically is called Sankhya Yoga. So because this chapter contains a lot about knowledge of the soul, different aspects of it. That's why this chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. So just one second. Yeah. So if you all remember, uh, the first chapter we discussed in essence, uh, the chapter started with the setting the scene. We saw the diplomacy of Duryodhan, the duplicity of Dhritarashtra, and how the warriors on both the sides are described. And then we saw signs of the victory of Arjuna. We saw different signs. The symbol of Arjuna, Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna, Krishna being present there. So different signs we saw. The chariot itself is given by Agni. So different signs we saw. And the first chapter ends with 4 reasons Arjuna gives why he doesn't want to fight. That's how the first chapter ends. The first reason is compassion. We discussed this in detail, that Arjuna feels that no, it's not right. I am a devotee. A devotee can't hurt anyone. We all know the story of one time Narad Muni comes and meets a hunter called Mrighari. So this hunter was so cruel that he would half kill animals. I mean, he would kill them, not fully, half kill them, and seeing them suffer, he would enjoy. So Narad Muni comes and tells Mrighari, what are you doing? See the amount of pain you're causing. All this pain will come back to you. It's called pain wave theory. All the pain will come back to you and you'll have to suffer. And Narad Muni actually showed him like a TV where he could see the future suffering. So when Mrighari saw that, he decided, okay, let me live a life of compassion. The next time when Narad Muni comes to see Mrighari, so Mrighari wants to offer Dandavat to his guru now. So this is Vaishnav etiquette, that as soon as you see a senior, especially your guru, wherever you're supposed to just fall flat and offer Dandavat. So Mrigari was supposed to offer his obeisances to Narad Muni, but he sees that there are some ants crawling. So he first takes his dhoti and takes those ants aside, and then he offers obeisances. So Narad Muni is so surprised to see that this is a compassion of a devotee. So a devotee is so compassionate that he's not wanting to hurt anyone. And Arjuna is taking compassion to the next level. He doesn't want to even hurt his enemies. People who have tried to kill him in so many ways, tried to torture them in so many ways, Arjuna is ready to forgive them. So that's the first reason that Arjuna gives, compassion. The second reason is enjoyment. Arjuna feels that if all my relatives are dead in this war, because war is like a gambling match, isn't it? You know, in a gambling match, one person loses, one person wins. In a war, one person wins, other person dies. So it's not like the cricket game, where India loses, Pakistan wins, or Pakistan loses, India wins. It's not that simple. In a war, one party wins, the other party dies. Arjuna is thinking that so many relatives of mine are going to be killed. And for Arjuna, either side people are killed, all are his relatives only. All are his friends only. Both sides. So Arjuna is feeling that if so many people are going to die, and even if I win, whom will I enjoy with? I need people to enjoy with. Whom will I show off my kingdom to? So therefore Arjuna says, I don't want to fight. So he's thinking about his own enjoyment. Therefore it's very clear that he doesn't want to fight. The third reason that we discussed was Arjuna feels that this is too much karma. Killing so many people. I mean, lakhs and crores of people on this battlefield. Arjuna feels that there'll be so much sin that I will get, and because of so much sin, I will have to suffer in hell eternally. So Krishna, I'm very scared of these sections. Please for me. And then finally, the fourth reason that he gives, with which the chapter ends, Arjuna tells Krishna that if all the elders, all the elderly men are killed, then who will protect the women? And if the women go unprotected, unscrupulous men will exploit them. They will be unwanted children and progeny. And because the samskars are not maintained, the family traditions are not maintained, then no one will do pindadan, no one will do shraddha ceremony. And in this way, what to speak about the current, all the men in the war getting destroyed, the entire family, generation after generation, will get destroyed. So we discussed this while we were discussing this section, that sometimes small steps can lead to very dangerous consequences for generations to come. Just like when the Americans bombed Japan, this nuclear bomb there. I mean, for generations, people had to suffer. So similarly, when someone breaks traditions, that flows into generations also. So it's just not about what we do now, it's about what we do now, which is going to affect the children in the future. So there's a lot of consequence. So our actions will not only affect us, the present generation, it will affect the future generations also. So Arjuna is fearing this. Just imagine, Arjuna is such a great soul. He's thinking so much about the future also. He's thinking not only about the present people, but he's thinking about the future people who are supposed to come. Like Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Prabhupada made ISKCON. Prabhupada knew that he was already 70 years old. He hardly had time. But Prabhupada knew that I want to make an institution in which generations later will also get benefited. That is what Prabhupada's plan was. So these are great devotees who plan for the future also. So this is where the first chapter ends, with the first 4 reasons. And towards the end of the first chapter, Arjuna puts down his Gandiva bow and tells Krishna, and he sits down on the chariot. I mean, can you imagine? This drama is going on in between the Kurukshetra war. The conch shells are blown on both sides, and Arjuna has got so confused, so depressed, so bewildered. Arjuna has become so hopeless that he just sits on the chariot and tells Krishna, My dear Krishna, I will not fight. So these are the 4 reasons that Arjuna gives not to fight. And the 5th reason is indecision, which will come in the first section of the 2nd chapter. So the Gita is all about going from a state of confusion to clarity. So Arjuna, at the end of the first chapter is called Observing the Armies. So Arjuna is trying to observe the army and the war and his own life with his own eyes, with his own understanding. And the result is he's confused. Even though he is so intelligent, his intelligence doesn't help him solve that problem. So confusion is good, provided we are ready to surrender to someone to get clarity. So many people in this world, the first state is, most people are not even aware that they are confused. People are so much in ignorance, they are not even bothered to find out what their situation in life is. Everyone is suffering so much, no one is ready to admit. Like Srila Prabhupada tells the story of a 25 paisa circus. Probably I have told the story somewhere. That one time in a village there was a circus that came, and they advertised this circus as a very special circus and a 25 paisa circus. So all the villagers came up to see the circus. How do you get to see a circus with 25 paisa? There was a huge line. And then these circus people told them that this is a special circus, so only one person will go at a time. So they said, "Okay, no issue." So they all stood in a line. The first guy gets in, and he sees that there's a huge tent, but no one is there. Empty tent. And there was one wrestler who's standing right in front, and he calls him, and he beats him left and right. And he tells him, "You have come to see circus for 25 paisa." And he beats him, thrashes him, and tells him, "Get out." So this fellow comes out, and when he comes out, the other people are asking him, "What was your experience?" And he says, "First class, very good circus. You all should see definitely. However long you wait, see the circus and go." So everyone in the village gets beaten up, but no one is ready to admit that they have been beaten up. So in this world, everyone is confused to some extent, but people feel that they have clarity. Because without the knowledge of scriptures, without Guru in our life, Om Agyanti Mirandasya, we sing this in the Mangalacharan before we start our pravachan. So Guru gives us eyes to see. So without Guru in your life, what can you see? Our vision will be defective. So Arjuna, even though at this point he's confused, he just sits down on the chariot, not ready to fight, but he's humble. So confusion is good, provided it makes us humble. So only in a state of humility, learning happens. If you think you already know, how can anyone teach you? Isn't it? The first criteria of a student is he should admit, "I don't know." If you go and tell the guru that I already know everything, probably I will teach the guru something, then you don't need a guru. Who needs a guru? A person who feels that I don't know, I need help. Only such a person needs a guru. If you feel that your life is going great, you have everything fixed in place, you know all the solutions, then don't waste time, your time and the guru's time going to the guru. So the first state of mind in which we should be to understand Gita, and that's exactly what Arjuna is coming to, is to know that I don't know. To admit, to be humble about it. So Arjuna is really humble about it. Arjuna comes to the point and tells Krishna, "Krishna, I don't know." So the problem with education is, when we have too much education, in today's world, when someone is like an IIT graduate or any big thing, you feel that you can find solutions to everything. So our education, our money gives us that kind of illusion that we can solve everything. We can find solutions to everything. Why do I need to surrender? But Arjuna's greatness is, Arjuna is such a powerful warrior. Imagine, what is Arjuna's record? Arjuna is such a powerful warrior. He has defeated Shiva. He has defeated Indra. He's defeated so many people and got so many weapons. The most powerful warrior at that time, and still Arjuna is humble enough to admit that I don't know. And only in that state does learning happen. So the Gita is the journey from confusion to clarity. At the end of the Gita, Krishna is asking Arjuna, have you understood? So Arjuna tells Krishna that all my illusions have gone. Now I'm very clear what I want to do. Karishye vachanam tava. All my illusions have disappeared. So if we all want clarity in life, wisdom of Gita is very important. And for the wisdom of Gita to come in our life, the right state of mind is important. Without that right state of mind, we cannot understand the wisdom of Gita. Hmm? One time, there was an arrogant man who came to Lord Buddha, and in fact, he started to fire bad words at Buddha. And there was another person next to Lord Buddha, and he was saying that Buddha was completely equipoised, not at all affected. So the other person told Buddha that we are two of us, let's beat this guy up completely. This fellow is so arrogant. He's firing bad words at you. So Buddha told him, see, if I give you 1,000 rupees and you don't take it, whom it remains with? It remains you with you only, isn't it? So that person is giving bad words, but I have not accepted it. So it's with him only, right? So the point is, before we get into the Gita, having the right attitude is crucial. You see, what wisdom that Krishna is speaking here to Arjuna, Krishna tried to speak this to Duryodhan, to Dhritarashtra. I mean, so many people try to educate these people also. But the point is the difference of attitude. Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra felt that I don't need to hear from anyone. We know what is correct. Perfectly okay. Duryodhan felt that I don't want anyone. Dhritarashtra would hear, but then he would do what he wanted to do. But Arjuna had the right attitude. So if you want to fly high in life, if you want to become successful in life, and Arjuna is like one of the most successful people, having right attitudes is crucial. We just came recently from our Hampi Yatra, and just like Arjuna is successful here in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the Ramayana you have Hanumanji, who's the most successful warrior. And you see both these people, Arjuna and Hanuman, we study their actions, but more important than their actions is what were their attitudes. Hanumanji was so humble about himself, no sense of pride at all, completely humble and honest. Only such people can become really successful in life. So Arjuna is able to transform himself. The wisdom of Gita doesn't remain just information to him, but it becomes a transformation because his attitude is right. Just imagine you have a pot and this pot is upside down and you put milk in this pot. What will the pot retain? Nothing. So if there is arrogance within us, it's like an upside down pot. How much ever knowledge comes, nothing enters. Another way, another example, if you have a pot which is not upside down, you pour milk, but the pot has a lot of holes in it, lot of ulterior motives. So in our heart, wisdom is like that water, the wisdom of Gita. But if our heart, which is like a pot, has a lot of holes in it, lot of ulterior motives, whatever wisdom comes will go away. Nothing will retain and no transformation will happen. So that's why it's very important that our attitudes are set right. And that's what the Gita starts with. So the first chapter is very crucial because Arjuna is perfectly showing us what the right attitude is. There's a very interesting story of what a right attitude should be to understand Gita. One time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his South Indian tour, he came to Sri Rangam. So if you all have been to Sri Rangam or at least heard about it, Sri Rangam is a very holy place in Tamil Nadu. So Sri Rangam is the headquarters of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. It's a very beautiful place, the deity of Ranganath. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there, and during those times, 500 years back, Sri Rangam was the headquarter of even the Sanskrit scholars of learning. Srirangam was the headquarter. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to the temple compound and he sees so many Brahmanas there studying Vedas, reciting perfect Sanskrit. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu observes that there is one particular Brahmana or one person who's trying to read Gita. But the most interesting thing is he's completely illiterate. He can't read or write at all. In fact, probably he was holding the Gita also upside down. It's not even clear what way you're supposed to hold the Gita. And he's trying to read. When you're trying to read Gita, you are an illiterate in front of scholars, Sanskrit scholars. He became a joke. Everyone around was laughing at him. What are you doing? In a scholarly place, you're trying to read Gita when you don't know Sanskrit. Everyone was laughing at him. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Lord, he comes to this Brahmana and asks him, what are you doing? So this Brahmana tells him, I'm trying to read Gita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, you're trying to read Gita, but you don't know Sanskrit. You don't know how to read or write. What are you reading? He says, yeah, actually, what you're saying is true. I don't know to read or write, and I can't actually read Gita, but I'm trying. Because my guru told me, read Gita every day. That's why I'm trying. Because it's the order of my guru, I'm trying. So Lord Chaitanya saw that this Brahmana is crying. He told him, you are reading Gita. Understand, you're following the orders of your guru. You don't understand anything from the Gita. Why are you crying? So this Brahmana told him, when I look at the cover page of the Gita, and then the scene comes in front of me, that the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna has taken such a humble role and become a chariot driver of Arjuna, of his devotee, there's tears in my eyes. Just see how merciful our Lord is. He's ready to take a menial position of a chariot driver. He's ready to give his ego aside and become this humble uh, servant of his devotees. Just imagining that, there is tears in my eyes. Lord Chaitanya told him, you have understood Gita. You have understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. So this person didn't read any shloka of the Gita, but he's understood the essence. Why? Because his attitude is correct. He's trying sincerely to follow the orders of his guru. Whereas the Brahmanas around, they would read the Gita. They were reading all the Sanskrit shlokas, but they didn't connect to the essence of the message. Therefore, having the right attitude is very, very crucial. So let's get into the second chapter. So the second chapter has 72 verses. It is the second biggest chapter in the entire Gita. The biggest chapter is the 18th chapter, which has 76 verses. The second biggest chapter is the second chapter. You can understand how important this chapter is. So the acronym for the second chapter is the word GEETA, G-I-T-A. So there are 4 sections in the second chapter. The first section is verse number 1 to 10, which speaks about the concept of Guru, a very important section. Just like I told you the story of this Srirangam Brahman who's following his Guru, surrendering to his Guru, right? So this section is very important. Why do we need a Guru in life? Is it actually needed? What is the need of this Guru? And what is the concept of a Guru? Who is the Guru? It comes out very clearly in this section, the first section, verses 1 to 10. So it's called Guru, G, of the acronym GEETA. The next section, verses 11 to 30, speaks about identity, the I of Gita. Identity means who am I? The knowledge of the soul is there in this section. So this is the only place in the Gita where Krishna speaks in detail the knowledge of the soul. Perfectly, so many qualities of the soul that Krishna speaks in this section. Very beautiful section. We'll spend some time in this section also. And then the next section is verses 31 to 53. where Krishna speaks about two dharmas, two kind of duties that we have. That's 31 to 53. One is called Swadharma, the duty of our body. So everyone's body is different. Everyone has a psychophysical nature. So we have different duties to perform on a bodily level. Like Arjuna's duty is a Kshatriya, he has to fight. Plus we have duties of the soul, of the Atma. It is called Sanatan Dharma. So these two duties Krishna explains in this section. And the final section ends with 54 to 72, where Arjuna is asking Krishna, what are the qualities of a self-realized soul or Atma Rama, one who's self-satisfied? What are his qualities? What are his symptoms? That is explained in the last section. So we'll start with the first verse. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam Ashrupurna Kulekshanam Visidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudan Krishna spoke the following words. So, this is Sanjay who is speaking the first verse of the second chapter. So, we all know that Sanjay is the secretary of Dhritarashtra, but he is also a disciple of Vyasdev. So the entire Mahabharat war and the entire GEETA, Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra. Because before the war, Dhritarashtra really wanted to see the war. So Vyasdev told him, should I give you eyes to see the war? Dhritarashtra said no. Because probably instincts are there. Na? So Dhritarashtra knew probably all his children are going to die. Which father would like to see the death of his children? So Dhritarashtra said, no, I don't want to see the war. You give that special eyes to Sanjay. He will see the war and he will give commentary. So the first original live commentary starts in Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita. This is the live commentary. So we may think that, people are very intelligent now and they have started different things. The original commentary idea, the idea of commentary starts in the Gita, in the Mahabharat, where Sanjay is seeing the war and is giving the live commentary to Dhritarashtra. And in fact, something more interesting is Dhritarashtra and Sanjay, they are sitting in Delhi, Hastinapur, and the war is happening in Kurukshetra, which is like 100 kilometers away. Sanjay is still able to see. So the original Doordarshan also starts in the Mahabharata only. What is Doordarshan? Seeing very far, darshan of very far things. So Sanjay is sitting in Delhi and he's seeing exactly what is happening in Kurukshetra. So he's reporting exactly. So Sanjay starts this verse saying that when Krishna sees Arjuna full of compassion, tam tata kripaya vishtam, full of compassion, ashru purna kulekshanam, and his eyes are filled with tears. Seeing Arjuna full of compassion, eyes filled with tears, Krishna, who is called Madhusudan, speaks the following words. So, in life is such that everyone has something to cry about, isn't it? There is no one in this world who doesn't have a problem. Everyone, they may have smiling faces, but everyone's heart is crying. Everyone has issues to deal with. Many of the issues you can't speak out to everyone. One time, there's an interesting joke. One time, one person went to a psychiatrist and told the psychiatrist that I'm going through so much problems. There's so much depression around, and I'm crying so much in life. What is the solution? The psychiatrist told him, see, whenever I go through problems, I go to a circus and there's one joker there. If you see that joker, you'll forget all your problems and you'll start laughing. So my suggestion to you is go and meet this joker. All your problems will go away. That fellow laughs so much. This guy told him, I am the joker. I am the joker. I make everyone laugh, but I too have problems to deal with. So when we go through suffering and and we actually lament about it, when we cry about it, then we lose track of what is the reality. Just like there is this saying, uh, if you miss an opportunity, don't fill your eyes with tears, for you will not be able to see the next one coming along, a better one. So if you miss something in life and you start crying and crying and crying, then what will happen? If your eyes are filled with so much tears, like Arjuna's eyes are filled here, then the opportunity that's open in front of you, the door that is open in front of you, you will not be able to see. Therefore, you will see the first instruction that Krishna gives in the second chapter. This is verse number, we will come to it, but just to tell you all, So this is Krishna's first instruction. This is text 11. Asochan anvasochastvam pragyavadam chabasase gatasun agatasun cha nanu shochanti pandita. This text 11 of the second chapter, Krishna is using the word asochan anvasochastvam nanu shochanti. So what is socha? Asochan means Krishna is telling Arjuna, do not lament. Don't cry, my dear Arjuna. Nanu shochanti. Don't lament, don't cry. And you'll find this instruction that Krishna keeps giving again and again in the Gita. So many places Krishna keeps telling Arjuna, don't cry, don't lament. Because if you cry too much, you will miss the opportunity that is there in front of you. So there is a story that one time there was two birds, a male and a female bird, and they had children also. So one day it so happened that the hunter caught the female bird in the net, and the male bird was crying so much. My beloved has gone, my beloved has gone, crying, and his heart was completely broken. As soon as the husband was crying so much, the hunter caught the babies also. And this fellow was still crying, my wife is gone, now my children also gone. The hunter shot the arrow and killed this male bird. So the point is, definitely when things go wrong in life, we all feel bad, we cry about it. But then how long you can cry? We need to get over our crying and move on. So this story comes in the Bhagavatam when Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu, dies, and all the wives of Hiranyaksha are crying so much, they are not ready to give up the body of their husband. That time, Hiranyakashipu tells the wife of Hiranyaksha story. He tells him that one time there was a king also like this, and when this king died, all the queens were crying so much. They were not ready to let the body of the husband go away, to be cremated, to be burnt. That time, Yamaraj, in the form of a young boy, comes and tells them instructions. And he tells them that, you see, if you keep holding on to this body and you keep crying, then time will come and eat you up also, and you will not achieve anything in life. So, we can't keep lamenting forever. Because if we do that, we will not see things as they are. So this is called the BMW mode. What is BMW mode? Everyone loves BMW. Why? Because everyone is in this mode. You know what's mode? Like you have flight mode, na? When you put your mobile in flight mode, your signals go off. Or when you put your mobile in silent mode, you can't hear the mobile ringing. Or you can put your mobile in vibration mode, or different modes. Similarly, we live life in different modes. And what is BMW mode? BMW mode means B stands for blaming, M stands for mourning, and W stands for waning, crying. So everyone lives life blaming others, always mourning and always waning, always crying. And if you live life like this, how will we be happy? Now, one time a teacher came to a class and told a joke to the students. And the students started to laugh so much, laugh so much, laugh so much. After some time, the teacher told the same joke again. Again, students laughed. He told it the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the same joke. After some time, no one was laughing only. Because how many times you laugh on the same joke? So the teacher told the students, if you are not laughing on the same joke again and again, why do you cry about the same problem again and again? So people love to speak about your problems. People love to speak about they are suffering so much. they're not ready to give up. So this is our whole our biggest problem in life. A bigger problem than the problem is we start to cry so much about the problem and we forget the opportunities that are there in front of us. So what is the solution to lamentation? As I told you, everyone in life is going through struggle. There is not one person who doesn't have a problem. You just scratch a little deeper into their lives, and people will open up. You know, their Facebook images might be great, Insta images might be great, but then everyone is going through a lot of issues. So, what is the solution to lamentation? What is the solution to the crying of our hearts? The solution is to hear Gita, because that's what Arjuna was in. Arjuna was in the same situation. The second chapter, first verse clearly tells Krishna sees Arjuna, eyes filled with tears, completely depressed. And Arjuna hears Gita from Krishna, and his lamentation vanishes, and he's smiling again with great confidence and energy. So, therefore, hearing Gita is not a matter of luxury, it is a necessity. It is very crucial. So, if you want to face problems in life happily, the only way is to hear the wisdom of Gita. Because when crisis come, we can't open a history book, a geography book, a mathematics book. The only book that we can open to solve the life problems is the Gita. Uh, Something interesting is after Arjuna is lamenting at the start of the Gita, he's crying. Krishna speaks the entire Gita, and Arjuna is like again ready to fight, excited. His energy is back. But again, during the war, when Abhimanyu is killed, 7 Maharathis come and ruthlessly kill this young lad Abhimanyu. Arjuna again starts to cry. Again, he's crying and he's depressed. And Arjuna sees that behind him, some tears fall on his shoulder. And Arjuna is seeing that Krishna is also crying. Arjuna is asking Krishna, Krishna, why you are crying? Krishna is telling Arjuna, because I spoke so much Gita to you, still you have not understood anything. That is why I am crying. And then Krishna spoke the Gita again to Arjuna. And again, Arjuna's lamentation was overcome and he again got ready to fight. So the point is, Gita is not a one-time affair. It's not that once you have heard Gita, finish. You will not go through any lamentation again. No, life keeps throwing at you challenges again and again, problems again and again. And every time we may get depressed, we may want to give up. That is the time we have to keep coming back to the wisdom of Gita. So that's why the book Gita Bhagavatam is something that is to be studied every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we have to regularly be in touch with these books. Otherwise, the same old habit of BMW, blaming, moaning, and crying and wailing will come up. So here, Krishna is called Madhusudan. Why? Because there are different understandings. So one of the meaning of Madhusudan is the killer of the Madhu demon. Sudan means the killer. So because Krishna killed a demon called Madhu, Krishna is called Madhusudan. So here, even though Arjuna has doubts in his mind, all these doubts are sucking his energy, sucking his confidence and his happiness. The beauty is Arjuna has Krishna who is Madhusudan in his life. And because Arjuna has Krishna in his life, therefore, all his doubts are going to be killed very soon. So all of us have so many demons of doubts and miseries that are haunting us. But if we add Krishna in our life, if we had Madhusudan in our life, then Krishna will kill all the demons of doubts one by one. The second meaning of the word Madhusudan means, Madhu also means honey. Honey. So because Krishna is that honey, and our life is like that dry salt cake, completely bitter. Our life is filled with so much bitterness. The solution for our bitterness is that sweetness of Krishna. So when Krishna, who is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, Krishna who is the embodiment and personification of all rasa, the personification of all sweetness, like you have this song, Madhurashtakam, a very beautiful song, 8 paragraphs describing how everything about Krishna is Madhur. Everything about Krishna is sweet. Krishna's smiling is sweet. Krishna's speech is sweet. Krishna's glance is sweet. Krishna's Venu flute is sweet. Krishna's cows are sweet. Krishna's gopis are sweet. Krishna's Vrindavan is sweet. Everything is sweet about this emperor of sweetness, Krishna. So therefore, by adding Krishna in our life, only then we'll be freed from lamentation. I was hearing a lecture of Shubhala Suru. He was explaining a very beautiful example, analogy. You know, you know how you make gulab jamuns or kala jamuns. You take this ball of flour, the white color ball, and you put it in oil till it becomes black. And then you put those balls in sugar syrup, and then you eat it, kala jamun. The taste really fantastic. So we are having these GEETA classes, but somehow there is no prasad in these online classes. But you all can imagine kala jamun. So Shubhala Suru was explaining how we are all like that kala jamun. We are all like that white color flour, and this material world is like that kadai, where the fire is really hot, the oil is boiling, and we are put in this material world, and Maya Devi is frying us till we become black. So everyone is getting fried till the core, fried with problems, fried with heat and misery. We can't avoid that. Being in the world, you can't run away from problems. No one did. Arjuna didn't, and even when Lord Ram came, he had his own set of problems, right? So Lord Ram and Krishna, when they also came, their life also went through problems to show all of us that they also had to go through their set. The rules of the material world didn't change for them. They didn't change it for them. So when we come in this material world, we are going to get fried with the miseries here. But the option that we have is, after being fried, we can all dip ourselves in the syrup of Krishna consciousness, in the sweetness of Krishna consciousness. And there we will find our life successful. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam shrimadatatam bhuvi grananti ye bhuri dajana. The gopis sing Tava katamritam tapta jivanam. My dear Krishna, hearing about your katha completely eradicates all the heat that we are going through this material world. Samsara dava. This material world is on fire. It's on blazing fire. And we're getting royally cooked here. The only option for us is connecting to Madhusudan. So when Krishna, who is that emperor of sweetness, enters our life, even though there may be bitterness everywhere in our life and problems may be there, even in that problems, we will experience sweetness. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he's been cursed that he will die in 7 days, which is a really lamentable and a bitter situation. But because in that 7 days he heard Krishna Katha, he forgot about his problems completely. He considered this to be the nectar of life. So Krishna consciousness is that hope for us. When we connect to Krishna, all our lamentations vanish away by the sweetness of Krishna. The third meaning of the word Madhusudan is Krishna is the destroyer of false ego. For all of us, our ego is like that honey, isn't it? We preserve it. We are so much attached to our ego. We don't allow anyone to steal that ego away from us. We treasure it as if it's like the biggest wealth that we have. Right? So anyone who speaks nice about us, we feel so good. It feels like nectar. It feels like honey. But Krishna is also the destroyer of false ego. Krishna comes and destroys this false ego. So just like Arjuna, Prabhupada explains in the purport, we will see that Prabhupada explains that what is compassion? Here it is said, tam tata kripaya vishtam. Arjuna is filled with compassion. But Prabhupada explains, what is compassion? One who knows, no one knows where compassion should be applied. Why? Because if a man is drowning and you go and save the coat of the man, is that compassion? Real compassion is to save the man, not his dress. Similarly, we are so attached to our body and egos and the egos of others, and we just work on this bodily concept. When Krishna comes in our life Krishna actually tells us who we are. Without understanding our true ego, it's very difficult to be happy in life and to be compassionate to others. Therefore, Krishna is the destroyer of false ego. So when Krishna comes in our life, he humbles us. Just like the Leela of Kaliya, Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, and Kaliya was just vomiting blood. What it represents? Kaliya represents ego. Kaliya was thinking that this is my lake, this is my Yamuna. Kaliya forgot that Yamuna and the lake and the entire world belongs to Krishna. With false ego, we think that I am the aham bhokta, I am the enjoyer, I am the owner, I am the proprietor. When Krishna enters, Krishna humbles us. Like Krishna dances on the head of Kaliya, humbles Kaliya, and then Kaliya surrenders to Krishna. So similarly, when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is dancing on our tongue. So what is happening? Krishna is gradually humbling us. Trinadapi suni chena taroriva sahishnana. And when we gradually become humble, then we relish Krishna consciousness. The word, the same words, Trinadapi suni chena taroriva sahishnana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So who can really relish Krishna consciousness? Day and night chant Hare Krishna, only one who doesn't have any false ego. So if you have false ego, and if you're not humble, we can't relish Krishna consciousness. We will be in Krishna consciousness, but we will not be happy because there is false ego. If you study the life of great souls, Haridas Thakur or Tukaram Maharaj, these were personalities who didn't have any trace of ego. Therefore, they were fully happy in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, Krishna is called Madhusudana, because now Krishna is going to humble Arjuna and actually bring about the nectar in Arjuna's life. So one time there's this story. There was one person, there was a king who asked his minister, what is the daily work of God? So the minister said, I really don't know. So the king told him, by tomorrow morning, if you don't tell me, I will kill you. So the minister said, crazy king, yeah, let me run away. As he was running away, reached the outskirts of the kingdom, he found one peasant, one farmer. And the farmer saw that the minister is very depressed, very tensed, very anxious. The farmer asked him, what is your problem? Can I help you? The minister said, we have such a crazy king. He's asking me what is the daily work of God. How do I know what's the daily work of God? The farmer said, I know what is the daily work of God. So minister told him, tell me, I'll go and tell the king. Farmer said, no, I will come and tell the king. So the minister came with this farmer, and next day morning, the king sees the minister and along the farmer. So the king asked, oh, tell me what is the daily work of God. So the minister said, this farmer will tell you. So the king is asking the farmer, tell me what is the daily work of God. The farmer tells him, I'll tell you, but first you come down from there. The king was sitting on top, on a high pedestal. Farmer tells him, come down, then I will tell you. So the king is so frustrated, so angry. First time in his life, someone is telling him to come down. But he wanted his answer. So he came down. As soon as the king came down, this farmer went on top and sat on the throne of the king. The king is all the more furious. What guts this guy has? He's gone and sat on my throne. And from there, the farmer is sitting on the throne. He's asking the king, now tell me what is your question. The king asks him, tell me what is the daily work of God. The farmer tells him, this is the daily work of God. God's daily work is, he brings down people who are proud and he takes on top people who are humble. That's the daily work of God. So Krishna's work every day is to humble people, and people who are humble, raise them up. So gradually promote them. So as I was explaining here, Prabhupada explains what is real compassion. What is real daya? Real compassion is to help the soul, not just for the body. Giving food to others is great. We must definitely do. Giving money to people or clothing to people, that's great, perfectly okay. But then we all need to do something for their soul. Because everyone is suffering in this world, not because of lack of food. Like I always love this quote by Mother Teresa that Radhana Maharaj mentions in his book Journey Home. So Mother Teresa explains this, that everyone in this world is hungry. The biggest problem in this world is hunger, but not hunger of the belly, but hunger of the heart. The biggest problem in this world is hunger, but not hunger of the belly, but hunger of the heart. And both the rich and the poor are equally hungry. And the only thing that can satisfy the hunger of the heart is love. And the only love that can satisfy is the love of God. So, real compassion is to connect people to God. Real compassion is to help feed that soul. Otherwise, there is no real meaning to compassion. So Srila Prabhupada explains here that even though Arjuna is compassionate, but his compassion is misplaced and therefore he is depressed. So for all of us who are going through so much suffering in this world, we are all crying. Our hearts are crying. So the solution to crying hearts is the smiling face of Krishna and the wisdom of Gita. So if we actually take Gita in that spirit, the spirit in which Arjuna heard Gita, the spirit in which Parikshit heard Bhagavatam, with that desperation, then even though we may have so much problems in life, we can actually transcend that problems and actually experience bliss in our life, and we'll be able to help others also. So from verse 2, we will continue the next time. Anyone has any questions? Yeah. It was audible, right?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You just now explained about the real compassion is to help the soul, connecting people to the God.
Correct.
So how that means we are explaining about the Krishna to the people.
Correct. Yes.
Like it is also said that the people who are not conscious about Krishna, we should not tell them to it is a part of one of the offenses of ISKCON.
To preach to the faithless, yeah, that's true. But then, see, we have to know how to expertly preach also. So what it means is we should not, we should know how to administer the medicine nicely. Like one of our acharyas, he explains how we should preach. You should first go and fall at the feet of people and tell them you are a very great soul, you are a very great person. Because when you praise people, they become very happy and their hearts open up. And when their hearts open up, you should tell them, now give up your foolishness and surrender to Krishna. So one of our acharyas tells us this is the mode. So the point is, you have to enter people's lives slowly, and then gradually, according to their level, slowly keep explaining one thing. So you can't download a lot of information of Krishna consciousness to them. Just like a teacher, a teacher may know a lot of things, but then according to the level of the students, little by little she gives. So a preacher is sensitive in that way. Slowly, he tries to connect people. Srila Prabhupada was very expert like that. Even though, Prabhupada, some Bollywood star or some Hollywood star or some, cricket, some sportsman or anyone would come, politician would come to Prabhupada. Prabhupada would start the talk with their level. And then Prabhupada would connect them to Krishna consciousness very beautifully. Prabhupada would make that bridge, in a very sensitive and a nice way. So that will come by practice. But the point is definitely the only thing that, the only solution for the people of this world is Krishna consciousness. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had great faith in this. Srila Prabhupada, in fact, had great faith that any problem in this world, the solution only is Krishna consciousness. So that's our conviction.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
We missed your class last 2 weeks, and today's was very nice and interesting. I have a question, Prabhuji, with regard to chanting. On average day, when everything is going fine, I have no problem, I have my schedule and do my chanting. The day I'm little bit disturbed, that day I'll find it difficult to chant. Actually, that's the day I want to do more chanting.
Correct.
But the mind is, like other days, it's like flows like, I don't even feel like it's a stream. The day I want to do more, I won't be able to do it. How can I overcome this problem?
Yeah. In terms of chanting, there are some things that are under our control, some things are not under our control. What is under our control is to try sincerely to hear attentively. What is not under our control is what state the mind is going to be, what problem has going to come that day. It's not under our control. So what is not under our control, better not to control it, right? So if a situation is there where something has come, some stress has come, rather than to fight with it, is to just accept that, yeah, today my mind is a little anxious because there is a problem. It's fine. It's okay. We are all human beings, these things are bound to happen. Just like I told you, even after Arjuna heard the Gita directly from Krishna, just after a few days, Arjuna goes through a major depression again when Abhimanyu is dead, right? But it's not that he's just carried away with it. He comes back to Krishna and then stabilizes himself again. Yeah. So when you have days like that, when it's really difficult, so just try sincerely. That's all. See, we may think that the days my chanting has been good, our definition of good is the best chanting. But for Krishna, the day when we have actually been struggling in chanting, for Krishna, that might be the best chanting. You're getting the point? So we don't know what Krishna considers.
I understood. Especially that Abhimanyu's death, he was depressed. That is good. Even
correct.
Great people like Arjuna can go through. We are nobody. Thanks
Exactly.
a lot. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you very much.
Radhanath Maharaj has a quote, very beautiful. It will help you in your chanting. He says that chanting is the most blissful experience in the 14 worlds. Even if it makes me suffer, I will still chant because it gives pleasure to Krishna. So the point is, chanting is not done only for our pleasure. The chanting is done for Krishna's pleasure. And even in that chanting, it's going to be, we go through days when it's suffering, it's difficult to focus. Fine, we will still chant because Krishna is happy seeing me struggle. It's okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I got my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. So let's wind up for today. Thank you very much. So we'll continue this the second chapter from the next week. Hare Krishna.